Thank you for signing up for our SharePoint 2013 45-day trial. I'm here to help walk you through getting started using your SharePoint site. Let's dig in. First, go to the email that Rackspace sent you with your login credentials and notice that you are given 3 accounts: an admin account, a contributor account, and a viewer account. This allows you to test SharePoint at 3 different permission levels. Your admin account acts as your site collection administrator and has full permissions to your SharePoint site. Your contributor account can add, edit, and delete things that are already existing on your SharePoint site. And then you have your viewer account, which has read-only access. To log in, click the link next to your root site collection. You will be prompted with a login box. Please type your username and password. Copying and pasting can add extra spaces at the end, which will cause your login to fail. And let's go ahead and log in as the admin account. Great, you logged in. And now you're looking at a basic SharePoint 2013 team site. There are other site templates that can be applied, but for this demo, we're just going to stick to the 2013 team site. So, first things first. How do I upload a document? Great question. Go to the quick launch, click Documents. You are now in the Documents library. To upload a document, click plus New Document. Browse the document you'd like to upload. I will upload the HR interview questions. Click Open. Click OK. Simple. The document has just been uploaded. But the great thing about SharePoint is the ability to add metadata to your documents. And metadata is simply data about data, which will allow you to better organize and manage those documents for users later. So let's go ahead and add a column called Department. Click Library in the ribbon. Click Create Column. Column name. Department. Notice all of the different columns you can add. Single line of text, multiple lines of text, choice, number, currency. We're going to go with choice for this one, which is a very common column. You'll see you have enter choice 1, 2, 3. They go on. We're going to enter IT department, HR, accounting, and finance. We'll leave it as a drop-down menu. For the default value, generally you want to leave this, for the default value, generally you want to make this nothing. Now, unless you have 80% of the documents you're uploading are, let's say, the IT department or HR, then you'd want to put that as the default value. But for this example, we're going to leave it as nothing. Click OK. Notice your department column is now there. Now let's tag this document. To tag this document, click the ellipse. Do not click Edit here. This will open the document in Word. We want to edit the properties of the document. Click the 3 ellipse next to Follow. Click Edit Properties. Under Department, tag it as HR. Click Save. Simple. Now our document, HR Interview Questions, is tagged as HR. But how would this work for uploading multiple documents? How would I upload multiple documents? Another great question. To do that, we're going to simply drag them from the desktop, highlight them, drag them to where it says Drag Files here, and drop it. The documents will be quickly uploaded. There we go. And now we have more documents in our document library. Please understand that the drag and drop feature can be dependent on your operating system and your browser. All of that information can be found on our FAQ. Let's go take a look at that right now. Our FAQ is at sharepoint.rackspace.com. Under FAQs, per user SharePoint FAQs. Here's a really good list of common questions that we get. There are also a set of tutorials out there, some of which are videos, some are documents, and some are both. So there's really great content out there. I encourage you to check it out. And right here, you'll notice that there's how to upload a document. But let's go back to that document library and see what else we can do. Okay, so we still need to tag the rest of these documents. Now instead of clicking on the ellipse and clicking on the ellipse and clicking Edit Properties, we're going to do it a different way. We're going to use Quick Edit. Quick Edit allows us to edit these documents by clicking the drop down. We'll say Team Meeting Notes, that's IT. HR Notes, that's HR. Helpful Lab Links, Accounting. See how simple this can be. But let's say you want to make all of these accounting. You select Accounting, drag it down, and there you have it. To exit out of this view, simply click View. It's as easy as that. Okay, so now we have a department. Let's add one more column. Click Create Column. We're going to call this one General Info. This one will be multiple lines of text. That's all we need. Click OK. Let's say that you want to add some general info to one of these documents. Let's say HR Notes. Click the ellipse. Click the 3 ellipse. Oh. Let's say you want to add general info about HR Notes. Click the ellipse. Click the ellipse. Edit Properties. You'll notice it's already tagged as HR. General info. These are my notes. Click Save. And now you'll notice that HR Notes has general info. These are my notes. Another great feature is the ability to quickly send a link to somebody. So instead of emailing the document back and forth between people and getting confused about what the updated version is, which we will go into versioning momentarily, but you can simply send this link out to somebody and they will be able to edit this document if they have the proper permissions to the document library, of course. But still, how is this beneficial? Well, let's sort this. So I could say department, and I only want to see the accounting documents. Now you'll see that I only can see the accounting documents, or accounting and HR. You get the point. It can become the way that you organize and manage your data can really help users find things faster. Let's go look at versioning. To set up versioning, click Library, click Library Settings. You'll notice you have a selection for versioning settings. Require content approval for submitted items. We're going to leave that as no. Create a version each time you edit a file in this document library. You have the option to create major versions, and you have the option to create major and minor versions. An example to create major and minor versions would be if you have a dress code policy, but then someone makes a change, 1.1. Another person makes a change, 1.2. So on and so forth. Those would just be internal to HR, though. You would then have the ability for HR to take all those minor versions and put them into a major version, which would be version 2, which all of the user could see. So we're going to just do create major versions. Click OK. Click the documents. Let's go edit one of these. Let's actually edit the HR interview questions. Click the document. Word will open. We'll have you log in. Password. Notice the document is blank. Let's add some text. This is my first interview question. Click Save. Back to our SharePoint document library. Refresh the page. Notice that this was updated. To check the versioning, click the ellipse, version history. Notice now that we can revert back if we would like. Each version does save a full copy, so it can take up a lot of space. I recommend setting your versioning to 3 to 5 documents. So to do that, again, go to the library in the ribbon, click Library Settings, Versioning Settings. Optionally limit the number of versions to retain. Keep the following number of major versions. Like I said, 3 to 5 is generally a good number. 10 gets to be a bit much, but I'm going to go ahead and just do 5. Click OK. Click Documents. And now we're back at the Documents library. Let's go back to our home. You'll notice that all of our documents are displaying on the web part. But let's make this information a bit more useful to the users. So we're going to go ahead and edit this page. Click Edit, click Page, click Edit. To edit this web part, check the box, hit the drop down, Edit Web Part. We're going to edit the current view. Click OK. Let's say we want to filter this so that on the home page we only show documents that are tagged HR. So, show items when the column department is equal to HR. Click OK. Great. Now we're only showing our HR documents. Let's go ahead and add another web part and show our accounting documents. Click Page, click Edit, and this time we're going to insert a web part. To insert a web part, click Insert, click Web Part, Documents, click Add. And now you'll notice that we have our first web part, and now we have our second web part. So to edit this web part, do the same thing. Click Edit Web Part. We're going to edit the current view again. This time we're going to only show accounting documents. Click OK. Great. Now we have accounting documents and we have HR documents. But it's kind of ugly. It says Documents 1, Documents 2. So it's not very clear. So let's go ahead and edit those again. Page. Edit. Check this box. And this time we're going to go to the ribbon. We're going to Web Part. Web Part Properties. It's just a different way you can edit the web part. Appearance, where it says Documents, change this to HR Documents. Click Apply. Boom. HR Documents. For the other web part, click the drop down, edit web part, appearance. This one is accounting. And let's also change the toolbar to no toolbar. Let's see what that does. Click OK. And now you can see that there is the HR documents with the plus new document or drag files here toolbar. And if you look at the accounting documents web part, you'll notice there's no toolbar there. Great. Click Save. And now our home page looks a bit more useful. Another question we get a lot is around permissions. And who has permissions to what? Can I break permissions? Those are all great questions. So let's go look at permissions, where they're at, and how to change them. To the right of your name, click the Site Settings gear, click Site Settings, click Site Permissions under Users and Permissions. You'll notice that Rackspace dam.user3 has read, Rackspace dam.user2 has contribute, and then you also have 3 default security groups: members, owners, and visitors. And if you go to Site Collection Administrators, you'll notice that Rackspace dam.user1 is the only user in there. Click OK. Now if you wanted to, you could technically add Rackspace User 2, Rackspace User 3 to the Site Collection Administrators group. I wouldn't recommend it, but you can do it. So let's actually put this in action now. Let's go back to our Documents library and let's set some unique permissions. So from the ribbon, click Library, click Shared With. Notice that you have User 1, User 2, and User 3. Click Advanced. This library inherits permissions from its parent. By default, SharePoint requires, by default, everything inherits permissions from this parent, but you can break those permissions. To break the permissions, click Stop Inheriting Permissions. It's going to ask you if you're sure. Click OK. And it copies them here. So we still need to delete the users. Because they still have access. So to delete their access, let's go ahead and choose User 2 and say Remove User Permissions. Yes, I'm sure I want to do this. Okay. So now let's go try to log in as User 2. I'm going to log out. Okay, close out. Let's log back in. This time we're going to log in as User 2. Notice now that User 2 can no longer see the web parts either because they don't have access to the Documents library. That's very important. But let's go ahead and log back out and log back in as the administrator so we can continue on. Sign back in as the administrator. Click OK. And now we're logged back in as the administrator. Let's go ahead and make another change to our home page here. Let's go ahead and get rid of the Get Started with Your Site. There we go. Now it's gone. Now there's more useful information on here. The next thing we want to do is add a new app. On the quick launch, click Site Contents, click Add an App. Let's go ahead and add the Calendar app. call it team calendar. Click create. Great. Team calendar. Go ahead and open it. And there you have a basic SharePoint team calendar. Let's go ahead and add an item. Let's see, the 28th, Turkey Day. We're going to go ahead and say Turkey Day, start time, end time. We're going to go ahead and make this an all-day event. So you can put a start time and end time, but you wouldn't want to on this day. You can notice the different categories you can add. It is a holiday, so we'll make it a holiday. And this is not a recurring event. We'll click Save, and there you have Turkey Day. The great thing about this is it's really just a list. If you don't believe me, list settings. We can do everything else that we could do on a normal list with our calendar. Let's go back to the team calendar really quick. Okay, let's say you want to change the view of the calendar. To do that, click Calendar in the ribbon, Current View. Let's say we only want to see the current events on our calendar. Turkey Day. So this is one way to look at it. Again, it's your preference. Let's go back and change it to the calendar view. There we go. So that was simply how to add a SharePoint team calendar. Let's say we want to add that calendar to our homepage. You know how to do that. Click Page, click Edit, Insert. I'm going to add a web part, Team Calendar. Click Add. So you'll notice it takes up a lot of real estate on your site. So what we want to do is only show current events. So let's edit the web part. Edit web part. So we're going to edit the current view. This time we want to hit the under selected view, hit the drop down and show this time we want to show current events. Click OK. And now our team calendar is only showing current events. And we have accounting documents and we have HR documents. Let's go ahead and click Save. Look at that. Our page is looking a little bit more useful. The last thing I want to show you how to do is create a subsite. A subsite could be great for different departments. So instead of creating those columns, HR, IT, accounting, and finance, we could give them their own subsite where they could go and add their own documents and play it that way. So let's go see how to do that. On the quick launch, click Site Contents, click New Subsite under Subsites. Let's go with IT. Let's call it IT. We're going to keep it a team site. Under permissions, again, this is where you can use same permissions as parent, or you can use unique permissions. So you could say only people in the IT department have permissions to this site. That's a valid option. But we're going to say use same permissions as parent site. Navigation, display this site in the quick launch of the parent site. No. Display this site on the top link bar of the parent site. Yes. And use this top link bar from the parent site. I want to say yes. Click Create. And there you have it. You'll notice you've created a basic IT subsite, which looks very similar to what we started off with in the beginning. And I can click on Rackspace SharePoint 2013 demo and get me to the top level site. This has been a presentation by Jeff Taylor with the SharePoint at Rackspace team, and thank you for watching.